Welcome everyone. This is a tarot reading for the sign of Virgo. So I have already shuffled the cards, as you can see, and everything is laid out in my usual position and format. If you want to know more about that, the description for that is below. But basically the way I do my cards is it's sort of in the shape of a person. If you imagine their head here, their feet here, and then, you know, their heart, back, and hands. Okay, so sort of the shape of a person. But that is it. Yeah, let's just go ahead and get started with you guys. I'm going to start by looking into your present, recent, past, and present, and then I'm going to move into the future as we go on. So the first cards I'm going to flip over is this position here. Like I said, this is the recent past. I call this the position of the back. So I have the Seven of Pentacles with the Oracle card of just the number 0. It's interesting because the Seven of Pentacles is like slowly working towards something. Could be like almost like you're going by your day to day. It almost seems like there's no reason for it, or like you're not making any progress. Things are very like stable. Even if you are working towards something in particular, it's like you're not making huge amounts of progress. You're either making steady progress or seemingly no progress. With the 0, it's seemingly no progress. Okay? But with the Seven of Pentacles, a lot of times there is a finish line. And, you know, someone is watching, or there is a consequence to whatever it is you're building. It's like you are building, even if it seems like there's like a stagnant, it's a stagnant at the moment. Let's pull cards and see if we can get anything else out of this position before we move on to the next position. All right, so can I get any more information about the Seven of Pentacles with the 0? It's like making no headway on whatever project. Like, let's say, you know, at work, let's say you're trying to advance at work. This would be like making really no advancement, but still going in day to day, still doing your job, still doing a good job. I say work as the example because Pentacles a lot of times talks about earthly stuff, earthly life, and specifically the Seven of Pentacles can talk about work. So, but it doesn't have to be work. Whatever you've been working on in general, could even be a home project, sort of like a standstill. Tell me more about the Seven of Pentacles, please. Tell me about the Seven of Pentacles with the 0. Tell me about the Seven of Pentacles with the 0. And it's funny because you guys are Virgos. Obviously, you know your Virgo signs, Virgo sun signs. But you guys tend to be sort of home project oriented. So if you have a home project, maybe you just haven't done much with it. But it's coming up in the reading for some kind of reason. Okay, so we have the mouth. The mouth. Interesting. So working, this has to do with a conversation. So maybe just trying to get a point across, not having any success with that. Or maybe this project has to do with speaking with people or networking with people. On the bottom, I do have the cave. So it's like there's a complexity to the situation, the project, or your work situation. And it requires, I think, talking to people as at least one of the components. But we're at a standstill. Maybe that's why we're at a standstill, because you're waiting on somebody to talk to. Let's see what else is on top here. Oh, yeah. So with the cat, we're waiting, we're watching. That's the cat. And then we have the universal hexagram with the staff. It's like, we know what we're doing. We literally know what we're doing. And there is a reason we're waiting. That's these two cards. It's like we're waiting so that we can properly take action as soon as probably we hear from someone with the mouth here. But again, that's part of the reason why there's been a stagnancy in the recent past with whatever our endeavor is. And that can be different for all of you. Okay, so let's move into the present now. The actual present. This is the recent past into the present. It can still be, this is most likely still happening in the present too, but let's look at the actual present and see what you guys are up to. So this position talks about the actions you guys are taking. It's literally, what are you guys doing? I call this the position of the hand. So I have the Empress with Virgo. This is a lot of self-care. Honestly, this is taking care of yourself, taking care of the way you look specifically. Maybe you guys have been going to the hairdresser recently, or just paying attention to the details, because Virgo is the details, but Virgo is also yourself, your body, your physical appearance, and definitely that's sort of reiterated with the Empress. A lot of self-care, self-healing, even if maybe there was if maybe you guys needed to heal or rest, I want to say restoration more than healing, because that implies you guys were sick, right? I feel like restoration and also like focusing on your looks, that sort of a thing, in self-care. Tell me more about this Empress with Virgo. Tell me more about the Empress with Virgo. Tell me more about the Empress with Virgo. Ooh, I feel like those cards wanted to come out. Damn it. Hold on. Something will come out. Nope, that wasn't it. Okay, there we go. We got one. Again, we got that darn cave. I'm not a huge fan of the cave because it implies that it's like complicated. There's like a lot of different components, factors, or it just gets messy. But I have the cave here. So it could be that you guys are kind of coming out of your cave. Like, you know, almost like if when you come out of bed, you're all disheveled and you're tidying yourself up, like fixing your hair. That's the vibe I'm getting here. And the reason is Leo on the bottom. The reason is because we kind of are ready to maybe go out, have a little fun. We're ready to maybe be seen by people. It could also be that for whatever reason, we are being seen by people at the moment since we've come out of this cave, and we want to look good for it. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else on top here. So we have Jupiter, we have the city, and we have Mars. So this kind of makes a lot of sense. The city, a lot of times is like a business. So it could be that, you know, this self-care, maybe you guys are going to a tanning salon, using a gym, whatever. You guys are making use of a part of the city, right? So I think there could be a business component. That could be just a part of it. And then we have Mars and Jupiter. It's like you guys are really taking action. I think you guys are really like focusing in on self-care and feeling good, looking good, you know, that sort of a thing. All right, and using whatever resources you have available. But again, we have the cave, so it could be that there's a lot involved with that. All right, so let's move on, and I don't want to get stuck in this one position here. Let's move on to the position of the heart. This tells me how you guys are feeling. That's it. What's in your heart. It also tell me sometimes what is evoking an emotional response from you. So let's take a look. The Queen of Pentacles with the nut. All right, so Pentacles. A lot of Pentacles here, and then Virgo, very earthy. So there's a lot of earth on the board right now, which makes sense because, again, Virgo, your card, right? Yeah, you guys are just feeling like it's time to kind of like set yourself apart from the bullshit, distractions, whatever, to take a step back. That's the Queen of Pentacles. Focus in on yourself and put effort in. This is a new thing. This isn't like an ongoing thing. This is a new effort. Maybe you guys have been plateauing in the recent past, right? Let's go back here for a second. In the recent past, it's been flatlining. But in the present, that's changed. Why? Because you feel like it's time to put in the effort. That's these two cards. And you're actually doing so. That's these two cards through the actions that you're taking. I don't need any clarifier cards on there. That's super clear. And plus, it's just your emotions, so that I don't need more cards for that. So I'm just going to look at this. I'm going to flip over the next position. And this is still in the present before I move into the future. I am going to look. These two cards are going to represent your future. So just a second on that. So still in the present, though, these cards give me a little insight into what you guys are thinking about or how you're seeing the situation, how you're perceiving it on a conscious level. Okay, so we have these, that's the 8 of Cups with the Oracle card of the number 6. This is funny because the number 6 is joy, it's happiness, and the 8 of Cups is moving away from anything that, well, is bad. Anything that is not the number 6, we are moving away from, right? Anything that is maybe even a distraction from your progress because you were flatlining before, you're like, I am not focusing on that. I am literally focusing on, right? Because this is the mind. I am focusing my thoughts, my efforts on things that are good for me, that make me happy, that bring me joy. And that's tied to certainly your body, I think, right? Looking good, feeling good might bring you joy, and you're stepping away from anything that's not that. That's what's on your mind. Is like, it's like if people are, call you who make you feel like crap, you're not answering their phone calls, right? Because you're thinking about you first, which to me is great. But I'm an Aries sign, so that's kind of the obvious Aries opinion. Okay, let me pull one quick card here and see if I get anything else about this Eight of Cups with the number 6, and then we're going to look into your future. Anything else about this Eight of Cups with the number 6 for my Virgos? Anything else about this Eight of Cups? Anything else with this Eight of Cups, please? The number 6. Yeah, it's like we're not giving our attention to anything that is not for us, to our benefit. We're not. Arrow on target. That's usually confirmation that is its accuracy. So I think it's basically kind of like saying, it's saying that you're focused on what is good for you, and you're not leaving any room for anything else, right? Arrow on target. Let's move on. So the last position here, before I pick all this up and then pull advice for you guys, this is your future. So I call this the position of the foot, and this is kind of where you guys are walking towards. So I have the Temperance card, and I have the book. So there is a learning component that is going to be required. And it's not like you can just jump in. I feel like you're ready to act. You're ready to do. I'm getting that vibe. You're ready to invest. That's these two cards. That's what's in your heart, right? But there is still learning that needs to be done, and you can't rush it. That's what these two cards. So in your short-term future, what I'm seeing for you is that before you can jump into, maybe this is tied to your aesthetics. Like one example would be, let's say, before you jump into hardcore working out, if that's what you're trying to do, you're trying to maybe look more toned or something. If that's what you're trying to do, you actually need to learn more about that before, and you can't rush it. And that's what I'm seeing here is like there is a period coming up where we're not rushing into things because there's learning involved. There's a need to gain more knowledge on the situation before we can move forward. And that's true for anything new that we're starting, right? Anything new requires a learning component, and it's best to do that before jumping into action. So that's what I'm saying here, is taking our time learning. Tell me more about the Temperance card with the book. Tell me more about Temperance card with the book. Tell me about Temperance card with the book. Tell me about Okay, here we go. Saturn. Wow, that's great. So Saturn is discipline. It's like knowing that we need to take our time to do this by the book. It has to be done by the book. That's Saturn, okay? And you're taking your time to do things the proper way. On the bottom, we do have Hammer with Sagittarius, which is to say, this is... Hammer is healing. It's also remedial. But addressing these two cards, it's like, before you guys can get started, you have to remedy your lack of knowledge, right? It's talking about that. And it also talks about making plans that are based off of experience, based off of knowing what you're talking about. So before you can make plans to know what you're doing, before you can act, you have to learn. And that's the next phase of the process. All right, let's pull advice for you guys. Seems like this is like a slow-moving process for you guys, but you're ready. You're ready to focus on yourself. You're ready to invest, and you're ready to put the bullshit aside. So let's pull advice here and see what you guys maybe can be doing to make this go more smoothly, or any other advice here, please, for my Virgos. Oh, okay. So I cut the deck and the Emperor came flying out. Upside down though. So it's like, don't let your ego get in the way. you might, because there's like a whole aesthetic thing, like don't compare yourself to other people. Don't let your ego get in the way, and don't feel like you're losing because you haven't made the progress that you wanted, right? It's like really slow and steady wins the race here. That's how I feel. Let me pull another tarot card because that was a weird one. It came out really weird. Anything else? And before I do an oracle card, any other advice or a continuation of this advice? Clarification on the Emperor perhaps here? Anything else? Anything else, right? Virgos. Okay, the Hermit, Virgo energy. That's you guys. You guys are good at Virgoing, or hermiting. So we have the Hermit. We have 3 cards. We have the Hermit, we have the Devil, and we have the King of Wands. So, Devil and the King of Wands. It's a challenge that you can overcome. Like, you got this. All right, you got this. The only thing that your only trap? The only trap that can actually get you here is yourself. Is your own mental state. The Hermit is falling into a trap of thinking, wow, I didn't make it, I'm a loser, comparing yourself to other people, being I'm not as good as that person. It's all a mental trap because you literally got this. That's what I'm seeing. I don't even think I need oracle cards, but let's see if anything else. Any other advice, please, for my Virgos? Any advice for my Virgos? Okay, this flipped itself. So the Hammer reversed, I feel like this is like talking about confidence. All right, your confidence will build. Your confidence will build as you go, but you definitely got this, honey. It's like I feel like this is all so good for you. You're entering a phase like you're going to warm up to this situation. You're going to warm up to this challenge. You're going to step up to the challenge. You just can't get in your own way. And you do have to practice a certain amount of discipline. And like I was saying before, there is a phase where you have to commit to learning, learning, planning, doing, right? But you're still in the early stages of that. Let's see what else is on top. Oh my God. I can't make this shit up. Learning, planning, and discipline, which is I said right before that. So, there you go. But the advice is you guys got this. The only thing that can get in your way is yourself, your own confidence, but don't let it. All right, Virgos, that's going to be your reading for today. I hope it resonated for you. Thank you guys so much for being here. If this did resonate, please press the like button if you would. That helps out the algorithm. It helps the video circulate, so I appreciate it. I will see you all in a couple of weeks.